A very good day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's channel. My name is Jadiel. Kabiro, ready for today's political conversation where we keep it truthful, we keep it factual, and yes, we keep it simple so that everyone understands what's happening within the political dynamics of this country. I'm joined by Herman Manyora, sir. How are you doing today?
Good.
I've said we keep it truthful. Is it truthful from your side?
Very objective.
Unbiased?
Unbiased.
Okay. Today we're speaking about...
Hard-hitting, but unbiased.
But unbiased. You have that on your bio. Today we're speaking about what is happening within Kenya Kwanza, especially on Deputy President William Ruto's side. He said, President, step aside. Niachie Raila, I deal with him. Because he feels like the president is interfering so much with the politics. Do you think the president is that big danger towards the Ruto's presidential campaigns bid? And that's why he seems so desperate to make him stand out.
I'm being vindicated every passing day. You know, and William Ruto he needs advisors. He's now appearing, he's presenting himself as a very desperate person. Because he was very categorical. And they have been very clear and very firm. Sisi tuko na Mungu na watu. You can bring on board anybody. Uhuru Odinga can be the chairman of IBC. Anybody, bring it on. Now, deep state does not vote. It is people who vote. It is Kenyans. And we have people and God. Now they are lamenting and crying about Uhuru Kenyatta. They said deep state doesn't matter. They said the president has one vote. So why are they crying? I told them clearly, and I've said repeatedly, you cannot underrate the institution of the presidency. It's a powerful institution. I have said time without number, some people like to say, that if the president brought his power to bear on an election, you can't ignore it.
So far, would you say he has done something for Raila?
He's just beginning. He's just shown intent. He hasn't moved.
Oh.
Yeah.
Has the effect been seen, though?
Of course. Why are they trembling? Why? Now every rally they go to, and they should stop that. Even their followers are beginning to get worried now. There's nothing worse than a general planting despair in his troops. The general must always put on a brave face. A brave face. A mother and a father in the house, even at the times of calamity, even when there's no food, they must put on a brave face. Until they get maybe to the bedroom. Then they say, if the children see that hopelessness on your face.
So according to you, the president has brought despair on their side. Is there something?
They look frustrated.
Azimio team is telling the DP, go ahead now and resign. I've seen some Mau leaders have gone to court to make Deputy President William Ruto resign. Is this the card that he can use?
The thing has not even started.
Is this the card that the DP can use, showing that now I'm off the government and I'm ready to tackle these guys?
Let him resign and tackle them. It's long overdue. But back to your question, the president is powerful. Uhuru Kenyatta. And I've said this, please allow me to repeat. In the interest of viewers, our followers and subscribers, and especially in the interest of Ruto people, the president, first of all, is head of government. Head of government means all our taxes and our resources are at his disposal to use according to the law, in accordance with the law. But we know what that means. The president is head of an arm of government called the executive. And that's the most powerful arm of the three arms. Because the other two are almost independent, but they're also almost dependent on his arm of government. More important, the president is head of state. Head of state gives him power, for example, to look at the interest of the country and even sometimes act extra-legally, extra-constitutionally. He can.
But not,
for example, under the doctrine, people are just talking, under the doctrine of extreme necessity, the president may be forced to do something if there was no parliament, for example. People are saying, if these MPs who have crossed over lose their seats, what will happen? We are likely to have less than 50. It's impossible that we can't meet a quorum of 50. In any case, quorum does not work until somebody tells the speaker. So even our courts are behaving like they don't know what's happening. But assuming the parliament was not able to work under the doctrine of extreme necessity, the president will act. He will do things without approval of parliament. So the presidency is powerful. The president is commander-in-chief. All these powerful men you see, and let me say this, and I've said it before. You know the man in charge of intelligence is a very powerful man. But when he addresses Uhuru, he says, yes, sir, yes, sir. You know head of the military? He says, yes, sir. Head of police, Mtiambai, yes, sir.
Okay.
Central Bank, mwenye pesa, Njoroge,
Yeah.
sir. A man who everybody calls
Isn't
sir.
this-
But finally, please, Jad, in the interest of these people,
Yeah.
let me say this. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is not just Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is the son to Jomo Kenyatta. The Kenyattas are an institution in this country. The Kenyattas are an institution. Let me tell you something which many people should need to know, including Raila Odinga. The things Uhuru can get away with, you may not get away with if you are a President William Ruto. The things Uhuru is getting away with, you cannot get away with if you are a President Raila Odinga. Because Uhuru is a Kenyatta. He's an institution.
But when you speak,
It's a network that spreads across the country, across Africa, and across the world. Somebody said it at The Hague. Uhurus counsel at The Hague, ICC. He said, the man before you, Kenyan currency has his father's bust on it. That was a major point he was making. So, before you take on Uhuru, you must know who you are taking on.
so we must agree that there are people who are above the law. Is that what you're saying? Someone like Kenyatta.
It's not above the law in that sense. Even that debate was in America during Trump's time. It's not an easy thing to deal with. Just exactly where does the presidential power end? And that beyond what line could Trump be going beyond the Constitution? It's not a simple thing. It's not for Kenya.
And that's what I'm thinking
People
about.
in Russia are wondering just how much power does Putin have, almost to put an end to Ukraine and almost push the world into a third world war. Just how much power does he have as a president?
Is this something that should be looked
It is
into
a discussion for scholars.
constitutionally? Can we
Yeah.
change this so that we don't have a president
It's
who...
not very easy to define very clearly that the president can't step beyond there. It's not very easy for any country.
So when you look at these elections right now, would you say it is unfair for the DP that the president is supporting
That
one side?
debate has never been exhausted. In America, people have always said, you are a president, you are President Judd. You are going for your second term. But you are going to that election as the president of the United States, the most powerful office on earth. Air Force One, everything, nuclear, everything is yours. And you are competing against an ordinary American. This debate is not, you can't exhaust it.
So that's
it's a
why
difficult debate.
the DP is saying, please.
So the DP, if he doesn't know that Uhuru has power, he must be. Now he has begun to see. He can even make some appointments now just to make you get scared. Legally, constitutionally. Uhuru still has the seal. The presidential seal. His signature is everything in this country. He can do things just to mess you up.
What hope then? What hope is there for Ruto's supporters right now? Because Ruto's supporters are listening to you right now and they're thinking, this game is already lost.
It's over. You can't manage.
But look at United States.
Yes.
Biden won.
Biden won.
Even though Trump was the president.
Yes.
So things can still change for the DP.
That's what I'm saying. To say that men walk on two legs is not to say that there are no other animals that walk on two legs, or not to say that you won't meet a man with one leg or none at all. But the general thing is when you face a system, it's very difficult to beat it. But systems have been beaten.
Yeah.
But those are rare occurrences. So if Ruto were to win, and I'm using English very carefully, if he were to win, he would have done something very near to a miracle. Because to penetrate this firewall, Uhuru coming in as Uhuru, the four Uhurus I've mentioned, 4 or 5 Uhurus, to penetrate, leave even Raila. Ruto pitted against Uhuru. Uhuru the politician. I've not even added one. Uhuru the politician. Uhuru is very deceptive. And in war, thing number one, deception. Uhuru is and animals that are very poisonous, very deadly, are very deceptive. In color, in patience. Uhuru goes in this thing for the long range. Let me give you the last example to show Uhuru the politician. 4 ministers resigned to go into
politics.
Has Uhuru filled those vacancies?
Put some ministers in there.
Who would do that? Would Raila do that? Would Ruto? They would have quickly jumped to fill those positions to get capital. Has Uhuru done it?
No.
No.
Once
Uhuru is
he
not
has
an excited politician.
2 dockets.
It's just, you think he's useless. He just looks at you. There is almost nobody, not Raila, not Ruto, not Mudavadi, who would not have filled those 4 positions. To endear himself to Luyas, give them 1 or 2.
Why did
Uende
he do
kwa
that?
Wakamba uone unatafuta kura yao, unatafutia Raila kura, upatia Wakamba minister moja. Amepeana.
Why not?
He's a long ranger. He's in the long game.
Okay.
He does. When you are here, Uhuru is seeing very far.
Moses Kuria is saying that President Uhuru Kenyatta wants to become the Prime Minister after these elections. Are these just rumors, or should we just take them seriously?
I find it difficult to think it can work that way, because nothing stops Raila from Uhuru from being Prime Minister. The Constitution doesn't stop him.
Yeah.
He can be Prime Minister. But whether that will be good politics, I doubt.
Oh.
That will be bad politics. Whatever intention Uhuru has for the future, it will not be served by him being Prime Minister.
Okay. He needs to be outside.
Because if Uhuru becomes Prime Minister, this dynasty thing that Ruto is saying, which will not give him mileage this time, next time round, it will be a very powerful tool.
Okay.
It will be so powerful,
Yeah.
the system could be beaten. So I don't think Uhuru can be that naive that whatever interest he has post-Uhuru, post-August this year, going into the future, he must have his own interest.
Okay.
They are not served by him being Prime Minister.
Oh. No. So for Moses Kuria, for you,
Moses Kuria is just a joker.
But when you look at
He
Moses,
can engineer other people to be there. He can even make his brother. That's no problem. But not to him. I mean, his brother, so soon, not now.
Okay.
The Kenyattas can come back.
Still speaking about,
The Kenyattas can come back after 2032. Not now.
you still believe that these guys are just long-term kind of thing.
But
Uhuru will bring
once
his
a
people.
country has, and then Kenyans are sometimes people who don't want to strain, to think, to read, to know what's going on. Once a country has political families, they rarely disappear. The Kennedys in America are still there.
Yeah.
In Pakistan, in India, they are still there, all of them. Once you have a political family in your politics, it's very difficult. The Hamas in Botswana, once you have a political family, once you have the culture of political families, which is part of our history. You see, it's not in South Africa. It's in Botswana. It's in Pakistan. It's in India. It's in Bangladesh. It's in America, the Kennedys. Once you have a country whose politics sometimes is played by political families, you will not get rid of the Railas, the Odingas. They will be there. Some grandson is there just mingling. It's bad luck that it's so bad that Fidel died. Toto Nyoka, that was a Raila. It's just bad he died. Winnie is there. You think Winnie will not go into politics? Winnie is going to be a very tough politician.
She tried a little bit before.
Oh, Winnie is going to be a very tough politician post Raila.
Let's finish up the conversation.
Uhuru has a very tough son I have seen. That son will not sit down. That and it was Juinan. He has 2 sons. One of them.
He'll go to Gatundu.
Huyo ni mtu ataingia siasa hata Uhuru amkataza ataingia.
Okay, Kenya Kwanza still speaking about Moses Kuria.
Yes.
He came in, now so much is going through his mouth. It's like the spokesperson of Kenya Kwanza. Has he made a good impact on Ruto's side?
Kuria's running mouth is dangerous to himself. And I mean it, literally. I mean it's dangerous to him. I let me leave it there.
Literally?
It's dangerous, literally. Yes.
Dangerous as it is?
Yes, to him. Kuria's running mouth is dangerous to the Kenya Kwanza campaign. Okay?
Yeah.
It is injuring Ruto's campaign. Big. Kuria's running mouth is dangerous to the country because he can plunge the country into chaos. Countries have gone under fire for less than what Kuria is saying. When you profile a community by touching a very sensitive thing in a time like this, you can set the country on fire without knowing. That's why I've said Uhuru Kenyatta, as the head of state, must deal with Moses Kuria. This is not a small matter, my friend. Countries have gone down for less things.
There were 3 things he said.
Yes.
Since he came to Kenya Kwanza, he spoke about election rigging.
You see?
He spoke about now the Raila and what you've just been speaking about and the oath thing. And he also said about Prime Minister Uhuru. Are these things making sense for Ruto's side?
They may think they are. Let me say this. I don't know how to read crowds. I'm not an expert. But I watched. When Moses Kuria made reference to Raila Odinga kama mbwa mzee analia.
And there's that too.
You know that handkerchief Raila has. He talked about it in Kasarani. It's a permanent scar he carries but with pride. He did what many of us could not do. It reminds me that somebody like Kenneth Matiba lost everything he has had, including his health and finally his life. He has left Edith, the wife, and the family in a state of pain that you may not cure. People like Charles Rubia, people who paid with their lives. Raila symbolizes that struggle. And the people who paid for their dear lives, their property, there are people, let me not mention one of them, he was even on TV the other day. His wife has left him back in Sweden and he's in Kenya because of these things. Sacrificing for country. So when Kuria says you want to elect somebody who is crying, his tears are rolling, his whatever, like an old dog, in reference to Raila, oh God, it is so bad. It is just too painful.
Should Ruto tame him?
So I was saying about the crowd. I've played that clip. Even the crowd was not amused. You can look at the clip. They couldn't take that. In other words, even the people you want to bring, they find what you are saying repulsive. Ultimately, the net effect of Kuria's running mouth is that it will cause Ruto badly.
Okay.
Because now you are saying people are now beginning to gang up.
And then, in the fullness of time, as you put it, things will be bad for Ruto.
Very bad. It's already bad, but they're just making a bad situation worse.
Okay, let's end the conversation there. Thank you so much for tuning in into today's political conversation. My name is Jadiel Kabiro. It's always a pleasure to have you for these conversations. Remember, if you agree, you don't agree with what Professor Herman Manyora is saying here, you can send your videos on hermanmanyora22@gmail.com and we'll be able to share with the rest of our audience. Thank you so much. Leave a comment if you can. If you haven't subscribed, I usually say it doesn't come automatically. You have to click the red button so that you become a member of this channel. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.